Like notes through the hourglass, these, the songs of our lives. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Songs of Our Lives. I am Brad Rose. I am a musician, a composer, a writer, the founder of Foxy, Digitalis, and somebody who thinks about music and sound far more than is healthy. Each week, I invite on a guest to talk about the songs and the music that have meant a lot to them and been with them throughout their life. Previous guests have included Rosali, Claire Rousset, Jalen, so many others. I can't even, my mind went blank. But this week, I have the one, the only, one of my absolute favorites, Myriam Gendron. I don't know that I can express just how much of an admirer of her work that I am. Her third record, Mayday, is out May 10th on Thrill Jockey and Feeding Tube, two of the best labels around. It features her doing what she does, but it also features amazing guest spots from Marisa Anderson and Jim White and Bill Nace and others whose names are escaping me right now. And it's just it's such a good record. Song Long Way Home. I don't know how many times I've listened to it this year. You know, I said a thing on, this is a Myriam Gendron podcast. Never mind. But yeah, I don't know. There's just not really anybody around who does it like Myriam does. And so having the opportunity to talk to her about all the things we talk about on here, what a delight. What an absolute delight. So we recorded this a little while ago. It was a lot of fun. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful day. As I'm recording this intro, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. And I just think that's a good sign. So sit back, have a listen. Hope you enjoy it. My guest today is a musician, a songwriter, a singer, and so much more. Please welcome to the show, Myriam Gendron.
Thank you, Brad.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going well. It's going well. Thanks. And you?
It's going. It's a beautiful sunny day. So that's
hanging in there.
That's a good thing.
Good.
Yeah. So the new record, Mayday, is out on May 10th, and it's very exciting. I was really excited when this got announced because there was a much longer time in between the last two. But one of the things I really was curious about is, there's a lot of things I'm curious about, but the collaborators. We were kind of talking about this before the show, but how did Marisa and Jim come to, how did they come to work on the record with you?
Well, I've been a fan of Marisa's and Jim's for quite a while now, so it's always something I had in mind, like maybe that could happen one day, but And on this record, well, there's this one song specifically. When I was done writing it, I was just playing it alone, and I recorded it with my electric guitar, and I felt like it had to be Jim and Marisa on that song. The song's called Lullabies, and I wanted a very, very loose musical instrumentation on which I would just sing the song, and so I had that in mind. But I had met Marisa once or twice, but I wasn't sure if she remembered me. And Jim, we had met for real a few months before during a festival, Woodsis Festival, and we talked for a bit, and the connection was good. And so I don't know. I felt like maybe I could ask them, but I was a bit insecure. And so it's funny how it happened because Marisa played a show in Montreal a year ago, pretty much exactly a year ago now. And I went to see her. And then I think it was before her show. I went to talk to her and said, so I don't know if you remember me. I'm Myriam. And she was like, yes, I was hoping you would be there. And so, oh, okay. So she does remember me. Not only does she remember me, she was hoping I'd be there. This is good. Okay, good start. And so we talked for a bit, and I said, you know, Marisa, I was wondering if you and Jim might be interested in playing on my next record. And her eyes went like, what? Because she says, this is really funny because like a week ago, I was with Jim and he was talking to me about you and he was asking me if I'd want to collaborate with you someday, you know, because he wanted to. And, and so she said, this is amazing. Yes, I can confirm that I want to. I can tell you that he wants to. Yes, let's do this. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. So apparently Jim had told Marisa that, and she had she had said, yeah, sure, we could eventually do that, and Jim had chosen not to write to me, knowing that Marisa was coming to Montreal, and in his head he went like, let's see what happens. Maybe Myriam will go talk to her, and I did. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It was like written in the stars. So yeah, they
Yeah.
came to Montreal and we recorded 3 songs together.
That's awesome. And you guys you're going on tour together here.
We are.
Like next month, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys going to play? I mean, are you going to play the songs together? I would hope too.
Yeah.
Like
That's
3.
the idea because they're putting out a record on the same day. It comes out on May 10th. And so they were going to tour for their record, and me too. And since they play on my record, we decided to, tour together. So they do their set, I do mine, and they come play a few songs with me in my set.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I was going to be on the East Coast in next month, but that's life. Well, that's awesome. And Bill Mace returns, of course, because whenever I think about a lot of things when I think about your records, but I always love what Bill does. So I was really, the song with all of you on there, and amazing.
Yeah. Bill is a magician.
Yeah, I have had conversations with people about Bill, and they're like, "What is it about his, that he does and the way he plays?" So I'm like, I can't really explain it. You just have to just listen to it, and you'll understand it. You won't, but most people see it. Well, I could literally sit here and ask you a ton of stuff about the record. I'm sure you talked about the record a lot, so we're gonna get into the main reason we're here. We're gonna talk about a bunch of songs that have kind of been with you through various parts of your life. And so, as always, and I'm really excited, especially with this one for you, because you talked a little bit about early memories when we did the interview with your last record. So what is the first song that you remember?
So yeah, I decided to go with the song that my father sang to me when I was a child, like a lullaby. It's not exactly a lullaby, but it's a traditional song that he sang to me before going to bed. And it's a song called Dans la prison de Londres, which means in the London prison. And have we talked about this song before, you and me?
A little bit, because you told the story about him singing it with the wrong melody.
Yeah. So that's exactly it. I didn't know until pretty recently that he was mixing 2 traditional songs, but maybe it's not his mistake. Maybe it's just a variant of the song, but I've never heard it elsewhere. So I don't know if it's his mistake or just like that the songs somewhere in time got mixed up, you know. So I'm not sure, but I do know that all the recordings we have of both of these songs, so the melody on one side and the words on the other, uh, they're never, you know, it's never these words with that melody. So the melody is from another traditional song called Isabeau s'y promène, and Dans la prison de Londres, the words I know usually have a very, very different melody. It's like an upbeat song. Um,
Mm.
so it's a funny thing, and it's the first song I learned. I still know it by heart today. I sing it to my kids with that wrong melody, and yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, and I really like when I think about this, and when you told this story last time, and I think you may have mentioned this, but it feels very like when I think about your approach with like working with traditional material and folk music and stuff, that just seems kind of like this really serendipitous connection
Yeah.
of, and I love that.
Maybe that's where it all started.
It's been ingrained since you were a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's wonderful. Was there a lot like growing up? Was there a lot of like was music playing in the house like around a lot?
Not really. Not really. It's the only song that I can say like it, you know, it was really coming from my family and might have had an effect on what I do today. But no, there was not a lot of music in the house. My
Hmm.
parents, they listened to whatever was playing on the radio. They weren't music nerds.
Um, well, what is the song that makes you cry? And do you consider yourself like a crier?
Yeah, I guess I'm a crier. Yeah, I'm a crier. I cry a lot. um, a song that makes me cry. Well, you know, there are many songs that could make me cry. It all depends on the context. But there's a song now that if I hear it, yeah, I'm gonna cry for sure. So I decided to go with that one. So it's These Days, uh, by Nico. I mean the other what's his name? Jackson Brown, right? Wrote that song.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so his version, I'm sure, could make me cry too, but it's specifically the Nico version. Mm.
Yeah, I was reading when I was kind of prepping for this and reading about this. I didn't. Apparently, she hated this, like
Oh,
because
really?
they apparently added like all the strings and stuff after the fact, and she
Mm.
said that it was unlistenable. Which I
Mm.
love the strings and I love the arrangements because it gets me like right in the chest.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um,
So, I mean, that's something that we might talk about later in the interview, but the difference between the song and the recording of the song is very important. And I don't know,
mhm.
sometimes I couldn't tell if we were talking about the recording in your questions. I mean, like, am I talking about the idea of the song or the recording of the song? Because they're very different things. And in this question, what is the song that makes you cry? I think it's really the song. So the arrangements are, I mean, yeah, they're there, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's the song itself that makes me cry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's no. I think that's a really interesting. That's a really interesting distinction, and it is. And it's. I always with a lot of that kind of stuff. I leave it open to
Mm.
interpretation
Yeah.
because I'm always curious. Like I'm always curious how people are going to approach it, and I think that in some ways that tells you something else too.
Mhm.
Just um, and so like a lot of these questions get interpreted in ways that I never saw coming. Yeah.
Right.
And I love that. So, um, well, on the kind of other side of that, what is the song that'll put you in a better mood?
Um, yeah, so I chose the song Conne by Brigitte Fontaine. Um, I'm a huge fan of hers. Love her lyrics. I don't know if you have any idea what she's talking about, but it's just so amazing. Her lyrics are so funny and weird.
I have no clue what this is about,
Yeah.
but I love it, but I have no clue what it's about.
Yeah, so that song "Kun," like um, the refrain of the song is "Je suis con," means I'm a dumbass or I'm stupid or I'm a cunt. It could mean many things, depending on the context. But it starts with "I am unhappy because I am stupid." That's how she starts the song, and then she develops on this idea of how stupid she is in her daily, very concrete life. Like she can't handle life. She can't handle concrete things. She sucks at everything, that material stuff. Like maybe she's an artist, but she really sucks at real life. It's extremely funny. So, so funny. Yeah. So that song like makes me laugh all the time.
That's amazing. That makes me love it even more. I just love, like, just the song itself is just this kind of wild, like, it's the groove is so good, and it just, yeah. But knowing that, and that's a sentiment that I feel like I can really relate to on certain days. So, it's, yeah, wow, that's great. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up the
Oh yeah,
like a
go on
translation of the
Google
lyrics.
Translate for the whole song. You'll have a blast.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, the next one is everybody's favorite question,
Yeah.
which is, what is objectively the best song of all time?
I'm sure you know what I answered.
I don't. Well, I don't know.
You
Actually,
don't
I
know?
have
All right. Well, so
out of all the ones on your list. I have a guess, but I don't know.
you know what? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to put you in that situation. I'm sorry. Yeah. So with that song, with that question specifically, I was wondering, are we talking about the song or the recording? And I mean, if I had chosen the recording, because you said if an alien showed up and you wanted to show them the height of sonic achievement, what would it be? That was your way of kind of explaining your question. So
Uh-huh.
that was, kind of more on the recording, I guess. So I was like,
Right.
okay, maybe something by, early Brian Eno or Fleetwood Mac, Tusk or something. That's like amazing. It sounds so good, right? But then I was like, no, let's go with the song itself. Because objectively, the best song of all time. I have a pretty, obvious answer to that question. So to me, it's Shenandoah.
Oh well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've
So
talked
to me,
about this. This is the most beautiful melody in existence.
yeah. So that's to me, it was the obvious answer. That is the best song of all time. It's the purest melody in the world. I love it so much. And there are so many bad versions, countless, countless bad versions of it. But the song is amazing.
I know. I think so. Whenever your last record came out, and you and I talked about this, because I think we had a bit of a moment of, yeah, it's the greatest. It's the best melody, the most beautiful. And I was having a conversation with my partner about it, and I think she could only heard like really bad versions, so she was kind of looking at me like, "Why are you so in love with this thing?"
So
I was like,
cliche,
"Okay, I gotta play you." Yeah, but then it was like, I can't remember the version I played, but I played some just incredible version of it, and she was like, "Okay, I think I get it." But that's like a really great point, because I mean that's the song versus the recording, because yeah, there are a lot of bad recordings of this perfect, beautiful song out there that don't kind of do it justice.
No, for sure. They're often, way too epic.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of your version. Do you play this still, like, at your shows?
Yeah. Yeah, I've had mixed reactions to Shenandoah in the US, for, I guess, obvious
Oh,
reasons. I mean, you've heard that
yeah.
song. Like, do you guys learn it in school or something? Is it like a kind of a national anthem?
I feel like we did like my daughter is 10 and I know she doesn't like the version. I think the version she knows is your version because that's probably the one that's been on the stereo the most in her
Right.
lifetime. But I feel like I learned that when I was in school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I get why it can be a bit like cringeworthy, right? So to
Mhm.
hear someone play that song or sing that song today. Um, See, I don't have that, the relationship to the song. I heard it pretty late in my teenage years for the first time, and it always struck me as just
Mhm.
the most perfect melody. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I still play it. People love it here in French. People who can, understand what I'm saying when I'm singing it in French. They really, really love it here. I don't. I play the instrumental version more in the States.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, if I ever make it to one of your shows, I'm gonna request the non-instrumental version.
I'll be glad.
Uh, I love it. Okay, yeah, no, I think that is the right answer. Everybody else is wrong. That's the right answer to this question. um, well, you kind of remember, but like, so what is the song that you used to love, but you heard it recently, or you think about it now, and it doesn't really do it for you? You don't really love it
Oh yeah, that's November Rain.
anymore. This is the cool one.
Yeah.
I was really wondering where it was going to fall on here because I can relate to that. Yeah,
I listened again this morning. I was like, oh my god, it's so over the top.
it's like pure rock and roll excess. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
it's so much.
it's way too much. But I guess I was about 11 or 12 when I was into that song, and it responded to, I guess, a need I had of like really, really intense
Yeah,
emotions.
yeah.
uh, yeah.
I love Guns N' Roses when I was like 10, which is
Yeah.
its own sort of problematic thing because they're pretty problematic. But um, I don't know that they have much of a redeeming quality.
Yeah, I really can't do it now. I mean, it does bring back a little bit of, yeah, but no, it's way too much.
Yeah, I do like one of the thing that sticks with me the most about this song. I don't know if you remember the video because like the music video is just as over the top as
Yeah,
but I
in
just
the
remember the
desert.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah, like where Slash walks out of the church and does this guitar solo in the desert. It's the most ridiculous.
I know,
When I was 10 or something, I was like, "Oh my god, this is the
right?
dream."
Seemed amazing at the time. We didn't know, we didn't know our cliches yet.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, sort of related. What's a song that people don't like? Whoever these people are, like I say, create your own context. Where people don't like, people hate it, but you don't care. You love it.
Yeah, I picked Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it. I love that song, and I don't know if people hate it. I think that a lot of people hate it because it just played too much on the radio.
right.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I'll love this song until the day I die. I think I
Yeah.
love
Well,
this.
I'm a huge fan of, Veed and Fleece and Astral Weeks are really great records. I love these records. The later stuff obviously is a bit more problematic, but yeah, these records are just so good. And Brown Eyed Girl, I used to my daughter when she was a baby got very fussy at night, like most babies do. And around 11 in the evening, she would wake up and scream for like an hour. And at one point with my partner, we realized that when we put on Brown Eyed Girl, that bass line at the beginning, right? Doo 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 doo,
Oh my
that would
gosh, yeah.
calm her instantly. She was like, what?
Wow.
And so we would, rock her to Brown Eyed Girl for hours. Yeah.
I love that. One of my notes this year is the bass line is amazing and makes the song. So there you go. Your daughter as a baby knew that already. Yeah. No, I have like really formative memories of this song when I was like listening to it when I was little, like dancing around the living room with my sister. Like my dad would put it on because he had a lot of really great records, and so I will like forever. And it's yeah, and it's like one of the catchiest things, like, but not in a way that annoys me. I love a good wordless chorus, like, and this is like one of the all-time great wordless courses.
Absolutely.
Okay, there's so many. This is one of the ones I was like, gosh, I really hope this is not the one that you like. Now you don't like it, because we were gonna have some. We were gonna have a problem.
Does that happen?
Yeah. I mean, Are
you honest?
Fine. I don't.
Are you honest about it?
Usually, yeah, I try to be like, I'm not. I don't go in hard, but I'm like, I don't agree. Somebody picked for this question. Actually, I did it with Rosali a couple weeks ago. I don't remember what it was, but she picked a Ween song for this question, and I hate Ween. That is like one of my. I can't stand that band, and so we had a whole conversation. But then she was telling me about Meg Baird doing a Ween cover. I was like, okay, I'll listen to Meg Baird sing a Ween song anytime.
Right.
That's different. That again, song versus performance. That's I think you're gonna have me thinking about that question now, like all the time. Song versus so you planted the seed, and now I'm yes, it's a very good thing. I love it. I'm excited to think like
happy.
I'm probably gonna start whenever I have people on here and be like, okay, so now I'm gonna add like a note. Think about okay, well, do you consider yourself a romantic?
I think so. I'm not sure my partner would agree, because he's more romantic than me.
Fair. That's a common answer. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm. Yeah.
You think you're okay? Well, okay. So, what's your like? What do you think is the most romantic song? What is your favorite?
Well, again, it's they're all very hard to answer. Obviously, you know that.
I know.
So I decided to go with a song that reminded me of the beginning of my relationship with my boyfriend. And so, because there are so many romantic songs, it had to be a song that really resonated with my own romantic experience. So I chose a New Partner by Bonnie Prince Billy. Yeah.
And specifically the version, like, because there's not the original version, but the like one with, oh my gosh.
Yes.
I sometimes think this is the best song ever written. Honestly.
You think it's the best song ever written? Oh, amazing.
Sometimes, like, find me in the right moment, and I will make that argument, because it's such a good song.
It's a really good song. And my boyfriend, Benoit, when we started dating, he broke his arm on his way to the movies. We were supposed to meet, and he was biking to the movie theater, and something happened. I don't know, I think his brake fell in his wheel, and I don't know. He broke his arm.
Oh gosh.
And so he didn't make it to the movie theater. He had to cancel, obviously. And then he was at home for like a week, not really able to do anything. And he made me a mixtape. And that song was on it with this, in this particular version from Greatest Palace Music. Mm-hmm. And among many other great songs, but I think that one specifically is very meaningful to this day to me.
Yeah.
Really reminds me of how you feel at the beginning of a relationship. And that's what the song is about too. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's really funny that you said that, because when my partner and I were first getting together, It's been over 20 years now, but I made her a mix CD that was songs that remind me of you. And one of the songs I put on there was the original version of this song.
That's great. Oh my God. That's so funny.
Yeah. So like, this is, I mean, I love Will Oldham. I love this song, but in this version in particular, I remember when this came out, because like I was so intimately familiar with the original version and loved it so much. And I just thought, okay, like there's no way that this is going to live up to what I think of this song. And then I heard this and I was like, oh my God, this is even better somehow. And I don't understand.
Wow.
Like the song itself is just a wonderful song. But again, like this performance,
Yeah.
it just adds, it's beautiful. I love it so much. And
Will is someone who, I mean, I don't do that. I don't know how I could do that, but it's something I find fascinating with Will, is that every time he sings a song, he sings it differently. Like I toured with him in September. We toured in Texas together, and I got to, watch him play for 10 nights in a row. And he played New Partner pretty often, and it was different every time. Like he changes the melody.
wow,
I don't know how he does it, but it's amazing. So that's a good example of how a song and a recording are two very different things, and he makes the songs live, in real life in a way that I could never do that. I always play my songs pretty much the same, because it's like, to me, those are the decisions I made when I wrote the songs. I'm going to stick with them. But for him, it's a totally different thing. He's like a troubadour. Is that a word in English?
That's really amazing. Like, and wow, that would be such a, like, I've seen him once or twice, but I like seeing that, like, so, like 10 shows in a row or whatever.
Oh, he's amazing. His shows are all different. Like, he's going to change his whole set every night. It's like different songs and different order, and it's always good. He's amazing.
That's amazing. That's yeah. Okay, well, what's a song that changed your perspective on an artist, either for better or for worse?
I struggled with that one a lot. I don't really have a good answer. Like, I'm not satisfied with my answer. So I picked Flowers by Miley Cyrus. So I guess the idea I had is just that I have a 10-year-old daughter, and she starts to listen to music on her own. Like she's starting to have her own tastes in music, and I don't always approve of them, but that's okay. It's normal. And often when we're in the car, she's gonna ask to be the DJ, and we're like, but yes, sure, of course, you can pick the songs. And so it's always pop songs that I don't really enjoy. But Flowers, I really got to like it. I love that song now. Like, I sing it really loud in the car. I love it. Maybe I can be open to pop music a little bit more. So it was not really that it changed my perspective on Miley Cyrus, but more on like this whole genre. Yeah.
No, I think it's a really good answer, actually. And everything you just described, I relate to so much that it's like you're
her daughter
in my head, because that's she'll be 11 in June. And it's the constant struggle of every time we get in the car, like every morning when I take her to school, she grabs my phone and it's gonna but that's okay. Again, I mean, when I was 10, and honestly, what she's listening to, I'd rather she's listening to what she is than like Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
So that's something. Sure. But yeah, I have kind of like, I don't know if I have a soft spot for Miley Cyrus, but I do really like the song, and I think one of the things that I have sort of come to appreciate about Miley Cyrus, at least in the last year or so, because of my daughter, is like, she can really sing. Like, she's got, like, I didn't realize like how good her voice was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this song though, I do love it, but I feel like it was every time I would go into a store last year, it was anywhere, the song
Oh yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
everywhere. But that's okay. That's not, that's okay. Are lyrics like a big thing for you? Because I have a lot of people on here who are like, I don't really pay attention to lyrics, so this question throws them. But are lyrics important to you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very important.
So what are your favorite lyrics?
Yeah, that was very hard too. There's so many good answers to that question. I couldn't find the best one. I mean, it's like I had to give up, right? At one point.
Right.
At one point, I was just like, okay, I think I'm gonna answer just this line from Captain Beefheart. That's really not in the folk scene or anything, because I mean, I'm really into singer-songwriters, so that was the more obvious way to go about this question. Then I was like, no, fuck it. I can't choose one song. There's so many. And so I was like, maybe just this line from Dirty Blue Jean by Captain Beefheart, where he says, she's not bad. She's just genetically mean. you know? She's not bad. She's just genetically mean. I love that. I love that so much. And he's like, don't you wish you never met her? I just love that. So that was
too.
at first that's what I put. And I was like, no, I have to, find something more meaningful to me. But that could have been a good
hilarious.
answer. So that's
a good answer.
I finally settled for By the Time It Gets Dark. Yeah, because I was listening to that song in the car the other day. And I was just like, okay, this is like a perfect song. This is a song I wish I could write, There's this thing, I think to me, like the perfect lyrics are just on this very thin line where they're almost cliche, but they're not. Because that's where you really reach like something universal. And it's great. And she does it so well with this song, By the Time It Gets Dark. It's just like it talks about, regular human experience on a daily basis, and how you can, how it's important to not lose the thread and keep hoping that it's going to get better. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot, and it's something that's quite present on my new record. Just trying to keep the faith, right? And I don't know. I think that's what the song is about.
Yeah, I hadn't listened to this song. It'd been a minute, and then when I was probably have listened to it like 20 times since I saw your list, because I forgot how much I love it, and it felt really, I don't know, it felt like even like really pertinent in like sort of the moment we're in, because I'm, there's a lot of terrible shit going on, and you're trying to remind yourself like to find something to hold on to, and she expresses it so beautifully. And what a song. I always feel like it always kind of like, I'm a sucker for lullabies, and this always had like a lullaby like quality to it, like a grown up lullaby or something quality to it, which I think really resonates. Yeah,
for sure.
Great, wonderful song.
Yeah.
So what is the song that you have or you can listen to the most?
Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen by Sam Cooke. That's it's just a song that I put on and I sing as loud as I can, as much as I can. Yeah, I love that song. I don't know how many times I put it on, but in like on a monthly basis, but very often.
Yeah, I love, and Sam Cooke's like one of those people I could listen to him just sing anything. I mean, this performance is incredible, but that's a man that can just, I don't know, sing whatever, and I will be there listening to it. To get more recent, I guess, what's the last song you fell in love with?
Well, you were talking about Rosalie, and I mean that new record of hers. I just completely fell in love with the whole record. It was hard to pick a song, but I listened to it a lot, and I picked Changes in the Form, because I really like the makes me think of Neil Young and Crazy Horse, and I really love that sound. But I mean the whole record is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good record. It was everything about it. I feel like it's going to be I saw somebody talk about this when I was having a conversation. So it's like, this is going to be my record of the summer. It's just going to be on, windows down,
Oh
like
yeah.
sitting on the porch. Like, this is going to be the song or the record song. Yeah, this song, one of the things I really love about this song is like, yeah, I think this is, the Neil Young, the Crazy Horse thing, the way the sort of the guitars kind of like interplay, and it creates like a sort of like underlying tension that, this song is so good.
Yeah.
And her voice throughout the record, like her voice is great. It's always been great. This record kind of just took everything to like a new place.
It's wonderful. Very uplifting. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm a huge fan of, Fleetwood Mac, and everyone said this already, but it's like Fleetwood Mac is meeting Crazy Horse with Sandy Denny.
Yeah.
Singing. It's like, what is happening? It's really good. I love the band is amazing. I mean, yeah, everything about it. There's not one bad song.
I know. I mean, that's all. And it's like a record that I feel like every time I put it on, it's like I have to listen to it from beginning to end because I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, those three things, like, Fleetwood Mac, Crazy Horse, Sandy Denny. It's like, it's like three of my favorite things ever, and you put them together into this new thing. Okay. Well, okay, we got 2 questions left. 2 sort of big questions. First one, what is the song that means the most to you?
Yeah, struggled with that one too. There are so many. So I settled on Lascia Ch'io Pianga. It's like a classical song. It's in a soprano aria written by Handel. And it's a song that I don't know, I played on the radio a few months ago, and I felt that kind of, the kind of a remembrance of things past phenomenon. like your whole childhood is coming back. So yeah, that's a song from my childhood. I did some choir singing as a kid, and that's one of the songs that we sang. And for some reason, it really stuck with me. And I guess I chose that song because it's probably around that moment that I really felt the power of music. How I guess Lascia Ch'io Pianga means let me weep. So it's the opposite of stop your sobbing.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is quite funny. I hadn't seen that before. But yeah, so I don't know if my music teachers told us what the lyrics meant. I guess they did. It would make sense. And so yeah, let me weep. I don't know. I feel I wasn't a crier when I was a kid. Didn't really talk about my emotions. There wasn't a lot of space for that, I guess. And probably, singing, choir singing, I felt that it was a good outlet, and that with music I could express these things. And yeah, so that's why I chose that song. I think it reminds me of that feeling of really, you know, yeah, that it's good for you when you're singing. It's very powerful.
That's really interesting because I can't even imagine, like, what a heavy song to have like kids singing in a choir. That's amazing. But like what you were saying, because growing up for me, like there wasn't a lot of space for me to express emotions, and like music was always that space for me. And like now I'm much better at expressing my emotions. Like I have the space for it, but music is still kind of the place that I go, like when I'm like processing something a lot of the time, or like it's sort of the medium for me that makes the most sense in that way. And
Mhm.
the way you just described, I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably why.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, this song, it's such that melody is just so
Yeah.
pure and
Right.
just like beautiful sorrow or something. Oh,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
For sure.
I would,
Mm.
when, yeah, quiet. How old were you when you sang in the choir? Like roughly, was it like high school? Oh, I don't even.
No,
Yeah,
younger than that.
younger.
I was in a music school. Well, it was the regular public school in my neighborhood, but the music teachers were, I don't know, enthusiasts, I guess. They created a special music program. And so we learned all sorts of instruments and did a lot of choir singing. So it was between the age of 5 and 10.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter, she did a thing like her school choir doesn't start until maybe a couple years, but they do a thing with the younger kids where it's like a clinic. So it's like for a week they get to go and work with the choir, and she did it, and we went to the recital or whatever, and it was this incredible moment of watching her. It's like, oh my gosh, she like found her thing. Like you could just tell that it was. And now next year she's going to start orchestra and she wants to play the violin. So
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. All the other, like all our like friends we have who are music people or whatever, they're like, oh, good luck. It's going to take a couple of years. It's going to sound terrible. I'm like, have you listened to a lot of music? I listen to noise music. I don't think a 10-year-old practicing violin is going to phase me in this.
It can be pretty hard. It can be pretty hard, someone learning the violin. But yeah, I wish you all the best with that. I guess learning at 11 is better than learning at 4. I was 4 when I started the violin. It must have been quite horrible.
Oh, wow. Yeah, geez. We'll see how it goes. It's,
Yeah.
I'm open-minded. Okay. Last question. In this moment, at least, because this I'm sure changes, at least for me, it changes. But right now, what is your favorite song?
Yeah, I kind of hate you for asking me that question, I gotta say. I was pretty mad.
You're welcome.
Oh, man. Yeah, I just gave up at one point. Just gonna put Iodine. So it's Iodine. My favorite song is Iodine by Leonard Cohen. I don't know. It's probably not my favorite song. I have so many favorite songs. It's just impossible to choose
Yeah.
one. But I love Iodine. It has a special place in my heart. Yeah. So it's not the most loved. It's not the song that people love the most by Leonard Cohen. It's not the record that people love the most. Death of a Ladies' Man, the Phil Spector album. He hated it. I know he hated it. I love it so much. I love that.
I do too. I don't even know that I realized that he hated it.
Yeah, it has this very sound. But I don't know.
It does. Phil Spector is one of those interesting, or maybe he's a horrible person, but
yeah.
But this is, I love the way it sounds, and I don't know. I kind of love everything about it. Help it.
I don't know. I could hate it. Iodine is a song that it has all the ingredients for me to hate it, like the saxophone and it's very over the top. So why do I like it so much? It's because the song is so good. I mean, I don't know if it's yeah, it works for some reason.
I think I would guess that I could ask like 50 people their favorite Leonard Cohen song. So I love.
Oh no, it's not. Most people don't even know.
Yeah, well, they should. I think it's a great song. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for putting yourself through these questions.
It was painful, but I did it.
Yeah, and hey, that's the whole point. And it was,
Yeah.
I feel like I learned a lot. And you've like put again this question of like song versus performance in my head now. I'm like rethinking my entire podcast. So thanks. It's like my payback for putting this.
Great.
But yes, the record Mayday out on May 10th, and you're going on tour. I'll put all the links to all that stuff in the show notes so people, you know, they need to go out to the shows, go out to buy the record, all those things.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
I hope it all goes wonderfully. So thank you again.
Thanks, Brad.
Once again, thank you to Myriam Gendron for taking the time for going through the ringer on this. Because as you heard, she was not a fan of some of my questions. I mean, in the best way possible, because they're not supposed to be easy. So if you don't already have a copy of Mayday, it is out. If it's not out right now, no, this is coming out after May 10th. This is out. You need to hear it. You need to get it. It's wonderful. One of my favorite records of the year. And you know, yeah, it's a record that really wants you to spend a lot of time with it, and when you do, you'll be rewarded. So that's what I can say. Thank you all for listening. As ever, you can listen to Myriam's picks in the link in the show notes to the playlist. You can support the show, support the site, support the cause. Foxy Digitalis, Patreon. Again, little as $3 a month. It just helps keep things going and keeps it all in check. And if that's not for you, take that $3 or $5 or whatever it is that, you know, and put it towards picking up a copy of Myriam's record. One thing you can do that doesn't cost anything is you can leave a rating and review on the podcast platform, wherever you listen to this, because that stuff really helps. All right, that's it. Thanks again for listening. Till next time, keep on listening to whatever the hell you want.